Every single one of these 15 mistakes is being made right now across America by RV owners who thought they had done enough research. Most of them are not obvious. Most of them only produce damage the first time they go wrong, and by then the bill has already arrived. This list costs owners thousands of dollars every year and puts them at physical risk on the road. Here is exactly what never to do and why each one matters. Why these mistakes keep costing owners money. The RV industry sold a record 600,000 units during the pandemic boom, and the dealer handover process that accompanied those sales was not designed to produce competent operators. The typical walkthrough lasts under 2 hours, covers the system superficially, and ends with a signature on paperwork rather than a skills check. First-time owners leave the lot in a vehicle that costs as much as a house down payment, with less operational training than most people receive before being allowed to rent a power tool at a home improvement store. The 15 mistakes on this list are the predictable consequences of that gap. They are not committed by careless owners. They are committed by owners who were never told what to watch for, what to check before every departure, or what the real cost of getting specific details wrong will be. Knowing these 15 in advance is the difference between RV ownership that works and RV ownership that drains savings accounts through a series of avoidable incidents. 15. Never unhook before confirming slide and awning clearance. The moment of arrival at a new site is the highest risk moment in the RV movement cycle. The unit is in an unfamiliar position, the owner is tired from the drive, and the temptation to unhook immediately and start enjoying the destination is strong. Unhooking before you confirm that every slide out, awning, slide topper, and step can fully extend without contact creates a common failure. The owner usually discovers the problem after the unit is leveled and stabilized and then must rehook, reposition, and re-level. The alternative is worse. Extending into a branch, a pole, or a neighboring rig can cause damage that turns a parking error into a repair that costs $2,000 to $6,000. Measure clearance before you unhook. The measurement takes 60 seconds and prevents repair bills that can exceed the value of the unit's first camping season. Published towing capacities and cargo carrying capacity ratings tell you what the manufacturer's spec sheet allows. They do not tell you what your specific rig weighs when it is loaded for an actual trip. The only honest answer to whether you are within your weight limits comes from a CAT scale, a smart weigh inspection at an escapees event, or a comparable independent weighing service. Owners who have never weighed their loaded rig are operating on assumptions, and in a significant percentage of cases, those assumptions are wrong. Overloaded tires run hot and fail at highway speed. Overloaded axles stress suspension components that were engineered for a rating you are exceeding. Insurance carriers will classify an accident involving an overloaded RV as owner negligence, and that classification can invalidate your coverage at the exact moment you need it most. 13. Never plug into a campground pedestal without a surge protector. Campground electrical infrastructure varies from well-maintained to genuinely dangerous, and the owner has no way to know which category a specific pedestal falls into without testing it. A quality surge protector, an EMS unit that detects open ground, reverse polarity, and voltage faults, costs $300 to $500 and installs between the pedestal and your RV's shore power cord. It identifies electrical problems before they reach your RV's electronic systems, and it shuts down the connection when fault conditions are detected. The alternative is plugging into whatever the pedestal delivers and absorbing the consequences. A single surge event can destroy the refrigerator, microwave, television, converter, inverter, and control boards simultaneously, a combined replacement cost that routinely exceeds $6,000. The surge protector is not optional equipment. It is the circuit breaker between the campground's electrical problems and your RV's electronic systems. 12. Never leave awnings extended when wind is forecast or you are away. Awning damage from wind is among the most common and most expensive preventable RV repairs, and it happens overwhelmingly in conditions that seemed safe when the owner made the decision to leave the awning out. A calm afternoon can become a gust of 30 miles per hour in 5 minutes. A daytime shopping trip can turn into the moment a surprise storm passes through the campground. The awning that was perfectly secure when you left can catch a gust, flip upward or backward, and destroy the arm mechanism. Repair costs are $600 to $1,200 plus installation labor, and you will lose days of use while parts are shipped. The rule is straightforward. Retract awnings whenever you leave the site, whenever wind is forecast above 15 miles per hour, and whenever you are asleep. The inconvenience of extending and retracting an awning takes 90 seconds. The repair costs and downtime do not. 11. Never drive with propane tanks turned on. The recreational vehicle industry guidance on driving with propane tanks open is inconsistent and sometimes contradictory. The National RV Training Academy, NRVTA, and virtually every qualified recreational vehicle instructor recommend turning propane tanks off at the valve before driving. The reasons are documented. Open flames from propane-powered appliances create an ignition risk during fuel stops, in tunnels where propane is explicitly prohibited, and during any accident scenario that compromises fuel lines. Many states and municipalities have laws restricting the transport of propane while it is in operating condition through certain areas, including tunnels and bridges. The argument for leaving tanks open during travel, typically to maintain refrigerator operation, is outweighed by the legal and safety considerations. Turn the valves off at departure. Turn them back on at arrival. The 30 seconds it takes is insurance against outcomes you cannot undo. Number 10. Never leave black or gray tank valves open during extended stays. Holding tanks are designed to hold, not to flow. When the black tank valve is left open during an extended stay with full hookups, liquid flows out immediately, and solid waste settles at the bottom of the tank where there is no liquid to break it down. The result is the infamous pyramid, hardened waste that requires professional cleaning to remove, and that can block the dump valve entirely. Gray tanks left open develop their own pattern of buildup, as kitchen grease and organic material accumulate without the liquid flow needed to flush them through. The correct procedure is simple. Keep valves closed. Let the tanks fill to approximately 2/3 capacity, then dump completely with the valves fully open. The water in the tank is the flushing mechanism. Remove it, and the flushing mechanism is gone. 9. Never skip the pre-departure walk-around. The pre-departure walk-around is the single most cost-effective 5-minute procedure in RV ownership. Check that every slide is fully retracted. Check that every awning is in. Verify the power cord is disconnected and stowed. Verify that wheel chocks are removed. Confirm that the sewer hose is drained and stored. Check that storage compartment latches are engaged. Verify that the steps are retracted. Look under the unit for anything dropped during setup. Owners who skip this step are the ones who drive off with a $400 power cord still connected to the pedestal, with wheel chocks still in place grinding against the tires, or, in the most dangerous variation, with a toy hauler ramp door not fully secured. Each of those failures produces a specific, expensive consequence that the walk-around would have prevented at zero cost. Number 8. Never rely on Google Maps or Waze for RV navigation. Consumer navigation apps route based on what a standard passenger vehicle can do. They have no information about your rig's height, weight, or length, nor about low-clearance bridges, weight-restricted roads, narrow residential streets, and steep grades that will destroy an RV trying to follow a car's route. The failure modes range from expensive to catastrophic. Those failures include rigs wedged under bridges, rigs jackknifed on switchback roads, and rigs sliding on grades their brakes were not rated for. The correction is a dedicated RV navigation tool, for example Garmin RV 890, RV Life Trip Wizard, or a trucker-specific app like Copilot Truck with your actual rig dimensions entered into the settings. These tools route around the restrictions your rig cannot handle. Consumer navigation apps do not. The difference is measured in repair bills and occasionally in ambulance rides. 7. Never drive while drowsy. RV driving is cognitively and physically more demanding than passenger vehicle driving. The combination of vehicle size, load management, wind sensitivity, and unfamiliar routes produces fatigue faster than ordinary highway driving. Pushing through drowsiness in a 40-foot Class A or a 35-foot fifth wheel is not the same risk as pushing through drowsiness in a sedan. The consequences of a loss of attention are proportional to the vehicle's mass and the complexity of controlling it. Pull over. The advantage of traveling in an RV is that your bed is in the vehicle. A 30-minute power nap in a rest area followed by coffee and a brief walk restores alertness in ways that caffeine alone does not. Long drive days amplify this risk. 4 to 6 hours is a sustainable daily driving distance for most RV travelers. Anything beyond that, combined with setup fatigue on arrival, produces the exact conditions where drowsy driving accidents occur. 6. Never depart without checking tire pressure. RV tire blowouts are among the most dangerous failures in recreational travel. A shredded tire can damage wheel wells, plumbing lines, and electrical systems as it comes off the axle, producing secondary damage that can exceed the cost of the tire itself. The overwhelming majority of RV blowouts are preventable through 2 practices. Check cold tire pressure before every departure and install a tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS, that provides real-time pressure and temperature monitoring during travel. A tire running 15 pounds per square inch below specification generates heat at highway speed in a pattern that produces a blowout within 1 to 2 hours of sustained operation. A TPMS alarm gives you 10 to 20 minutes of warning to exit the highway safely. Without it, the first indication of trouble is the explosion. Mistake 5. Never ignore the weather forecast before a travel day. Recreational vehicles are disproportionately affected by weather conditions that passenger vehicles handle routinely. Wind above 25 miles per hour produces crosswind effects on high-profile rigs, and that makes highway travel genuinely dangerous. Heavy rain reduces visibility and traction on a platform that requires more stopping distance than a car. Severe thunderstorms with lightning, hail, or tornado activity are events you should not attempt to drive through in an RV. The Drive Weather app, specifically designed for RV route planning, provides hour-by-hour conditions along your planned route. Check it before departure and be willing to delay 1 day for better conditions. That decision can be the difference between an inconvenient travel day and an incident report. Number 4. Never overload the tow vehicle past payload capacity. The published towing capacity on a truck sticker is the wrong number. Payload capacity, the maximum downward force the truck can support, is almost always the limiting factor in a real-world RV towing setup, and it is almost always exceeded before the published towing capacity matters. Add pin weight, hitch hardware, passengers, cargo, and a full fuel tank. A half-ton truck rated for 12,000 pounds of towing may have already exhausted its payload before the trailer is attached. The result is a truck operating beyond its engineering limits on every trip, producing accelerated wear on the transmission, rear axle, brakes, and suspension components. 3. Never skip regular roof inspections and resealing. The single most preventable, expensive repair in RV ownership is wall delamination, and the cause is almost always a roof sealant crack that went unaddressed. Every sealant joint on an RV roof is under continuous stress from thermal expansion and highway vibration. Cracks are not a question of if, but when. Inspecting the roof every 6 months and resealing any cracked joints takes 2 hours and costs under $40 in materials. Skipping this maintenance for a single year can allow water to reach wall substrates where repairs start at $6,000. The math is not complicated. The 5-figure repair bill is prevented by the 1-hour inspection and the $15 tube of sealant. 2. Never assume your insurance is sufficient without reviewing coverage. Standard recreational RV insurance policies were designed for vehicles used occasionally for vacation purposes. Full-time RV owners require full-timer coverage, which treats the RV as both vehicle and primary residence. Owners who live in their RV year-round under a recreational policy may discover at claim time that their coverage does not apply to their actual usage pattern. Coverage type matters equally. Agreed value pays the insured amount at total loss. Actual cash value pays the depreciated market value, which can be significantly less than what you owe on the loan. Review your policy annually, verify it matches your actual usage, and compare rates across carriers every 2 to 3 years. Number 1. Never finance an RV for 15 to 20 years. The 20-year RV loan is the single most financially destructive product offered in the RV finance office, and it is also the most commonly signed. The math is straightforward. A $90,000 travel trailer financed at 9% over 240 months costs $194,000 before the final payment clears. The unit is worth approximately $42,000 by year 5. The buyer owes $78,000 on a $42,000 asset. They are $36,000 underwater, with 15 years of payments remaining. This is not a rare outcome. It is the default outcome of the financing product the dealer is incentivized to sell. Run the total cost calculation before signing. Compare it to the unit's projected year 5 value. If the numbers do not work, and they almost never do at 20-year terms, walk away, increase your down payment, or choose a less expensive unit. The finance office is not designed to help you make this calculation. You have to make it yourself before you sign. Every mistake on this list is avoidable. None of them require specialized knowledge that is difficult to access. What they require is understanding the specific cost of each failure before the failure occurs. The $8,000 delamination repair, the $6,000 in surge damage, the $36,000 underwater loan, and the blowout that damages a wheel well and a suspension component at the same time. The RV industry built a buying experience optimized for speed. The ownership experience that follows is optimized for reality. And reality is unforgiving when the owner has not been told what to watch for. The owners who avoid the mistakes on this list are not more experienced than other owners. They simply had access to the information the dealer handover did not provide. Stop assuming the dealer orientation covered the important material. The dealer handover is a delivery procedure, not a training program. The specific practices that protect your investment are the ones on this list, and they need to be integrated into your ownership habits before the first major trip, not after the first expensive incident. If this investigation helped you identify the practices that will save you thousands of dollars in avoidable damage and preventable financial mistakes, subscribe to this channel. We publish one forensic audit per week into the ownership realities, financial traps, and maintenance practices that the RV industry counts on buyers not researching until it is too late. That is not romanticism. That is self-defense.